welcome back to another BL podcast with your host, Tiffany and
Saray.
Swadika, annyeonghaseyo, konnichiwa, ni hao.
Your BL podcast where we welcome all she's, he's, theys, and gays, and we can't wait to talk to you about anything and everything BL.
I guess we should start on like how we got into how did you get into like BLs?
Do you want me to go first or you go first?
You go first because I want to know. I really do.
I think I've been in like the BL. Okay, so do you mean like it's a difficult question because I was like consuming like BL, like LGBTQ content for a while when I was younger. I read like manga and watched like the old school like BL animes, like I don't remember what it's called anymore. Junjie Romantica. I know that's an old one.
Oh my god!
I was watching like those. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
That's what I started with originally. And then I got into K-pop, and then that made me start watching like Thai BLs, and then after that I was hooked. So
okay. So you went from manga to K-pop to Thailand BLs?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
As one does.
I took like a weird journey. For me, I went from, there's this show and it was on CW and my parents would watch it. It was like, how was it? Not Queer Eye. Like, oh my god, I can't remember right now. It's like something folk, queer folk.
Oh, it was Queer as Folk. And it has Justin and Brian.
Yes.
Yeah, I watched that whole thing.
I actually don't remember it all that well because I think I was a little young for it.
Oh, yeah, that show was very open.
Very much.
Shows you everything.
And I remember like watching like a couple episodes here and there, and that was my first like kind of like, oh wow, like that's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then what was it? And then like skip a couple years because like I was not watching. And then I started like looking at Junjo Romantica, and then the other one that was just as good. I forgot what it was called.
Mm-hmm. There was another one at the same time that was like Sekai something, and they were in the same universe.
Yes, that's the one I was talking about. Because that's the one I actually read first, and then I went. Ooh, the rabbit hole went deep for that one because I was just like, what is this?
Yep. You start so like innocently because I was watching like BL representation in America, like LGBT representation here. Like I watched a lot of, when I was younger, I really liked drama, so I watched a lot of soap operas, and they always have a couple of like queer people in there, and so I would watch their like just their parts, you know, on like YouTube. So it'd be like Lucas and Justin part 1, and it'd be just their storyline from like the whole show, you know. And I was watching that, and then I distinctly remember. Do
you remember that?
Yeah. Yes.
That was me. Once I found Junjo, like I can't say that word. Junji Romantica or whatever, right? I was like, oh, I need to find more of this content, and then I somehow ended up watching like Will and Sunny.
Yeah.
Part 1, part 2, part 100.
Yeah. It's so good.
So did you watch that?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I loved Will and Sunny. They had such a good, like, I feel like they make their relationship so dramatic, like they break up and get back together, or like the secrets are such a huge, like, miscommunicate. I mean, that's a Thai BL too, like miscommunications, like wreck everything. But their storyline was really good.
I love their chemistry. I kind of got upset when they recasted.
Yep. Will.
Mm-hmm. And then they recast Sunny in the later.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, why? Why would you do this?
Well, Will was like the guy that played Will. He started getting like lots of awards for that show because he's a really good actor. And then he like didn't sign their contract again because he wanted to try movies. And so they, instead of like finding a way to happily tie their relationship together, they just got somebody else, as if we wouldn't notice.
Right?
And the chemistry wasn't the same.
I don't know how that works. I like Thai BLs or anyone else could never.
Mm-mm.
I think they tried. I think they tried recasting for Two Moons. I don't know.
Yeah.
They tried that.
Well, they have Two Moons, and then they have like the remake of Two Moons, and now they have Two Moons 2, which is like the second season of the remake Two Moons. But I haven't seen Two Moons 2 yet. Just like snippets of it. I haven't sat down and watched it.
Mm. There was this YouTuber. He was like, "Just give it a try, give it a try," and I was just like, "Oh man, I really like you, and me and you usually have the same taste." So I ended up
Mm-hmm.
watching from the original to the remake. I was like, I fell in love again with it, with especially with the different actors. But then it happened
Yeah.
again, and they recast it again, and I was like, I'm not doing
Yep.
this again. I'm not doing this again. I could not. But yeah, I ended up gradually. I think I watched a Taiwanese BL before I got into Thailand BL.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, I think I watched. It was no, I don't even think it was Taiwanese. I think it was mainland China. They had that.
Chinese. Okay.
Yes, and it was like something around the world, like love around the world.
Oh, I know what you. That one is like. He like becomes obsessed with his boyfriend and like kind of like makes him.
Yeah.
They were together when they were younger, and then they break up and they grow up, and he has like his own company, and the other guy's working for him, and they have those rings, and he like
Mhm.
drugs him and makes him stay at home, and like,
Yes.
yep, I know what you're talking about.
I I don't even know how I found it. I don't even know how it happened, but it was like on YouTube. It was free. It was subtitled. I
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I don't know if I don't know if if I'm allowed to watch this, but like it was like I was in my mind. I was like, this has to be real. I was like, this is too much to watch. I don't even know how old I was when I first watched it, but I know it was. I don't know. Who knows? And then the
And
dramatic
then
change. Huh?
the actor that's like the actor that's the boyfriend that like gets drugged, he's in Guardian. Did you ever watch that? The Chinese
No, I have
like
not.
yeah, it's a bromance, but it's a BL. But he's in. Oh my god, it's so good. Have you watched
Oh,
The Untamed?
I love The Untamed.
It's the same genre as like The Untamed and Word of Honor and stuff. Like it's
Mm.
like that. It's like a bromance, but it's not. But it has that actor in it as
Did
like a main
you?
actor.
Wow. Did you actually? Okay, this is a little off topic,
It's
but
on
did
YouTube
you
for free.
see the fact that they put The Untamed under BL in Vicky?
Oh yeah,
And I'm like trying to really say it's not a
everybody knows.
BL, but then in Vicky's like, if you go under, it's like Untamed, and you're just like, oh, oh, it's right
It
there.
is. It is.
The fact that
Everybody
you
knows
can
it
read
is.
between the lines, all the subtle things. Oh my god, I could talk about
Hmm.
Untamed.
And I love that it's getting like BL is getting more popular because now there's like more on Netflix. There's more
Mhm.
exposure. Like, oh, it's so nice.
I love it. So I watched that one first, and then I watched the fluffiest of. I'm gonna say fluffiest of fluff, but like the fluffiest like Thai BL. I think was it Love by Chance? It
Yeah,
comparatively
that's
different,
yeah. That's like the. I feel like that's the. Well, that's one of the benchmarks in Thai BL because that skyrocketed its popularity. That
right?
became like a really, really popular Thai BL.
I I think there was like when I first started watching it was like 3 episodes in.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
I was
I
just
think
like,
my very first Thai BL ever was Lovesick, the series. Did you ever have you
"Oh,
ever seen that?
yes, I watched it." I can't remember all of it, but I remember like being like, "Okay,
Hmm.
I have to watch this because everyone says you have to
It's so
watch it."
nostalgic. That was my very first Thai BL because I got like a recommendation on YouTube of an edit because I was like watching so much like LGBTQ stuff. They're like, "Hey, do you want this one?" And I watched it and it was so good. That was like I think 2015 is when that came out. So it's like when
Mhm.
I started like my BL journey, and then like Make It Right was right after that. If you ever watched that.
Make It
That's
Right.
got Ohm in it.
Make It Right. Oh my god, did I watch Make It Right? I think I have, but I can't remember right now. Let me look.
That's a really old one too. It has Ohm in it. I know a lot of people know like that actor.
Oh yeah, it says I actually did see it.
Hmm. Those were my first ones, like Love Sick and Make
Wow.
It Right.
And then
Way back in the day, man.
I
And
remember
now compared to those, when they had
Mhm.
like the kisses weren't really kisses, they were like
They were like
angles and like just touches. The BLs
mhm.
that they're making nowadays,
Oh my
like Kim
god.
Porsche could not
Oh.
Make It Right, could not compare.
So I made the grave mistake of watching Kin Porch with my parents.
How'd that go?
Oh, it went it went as best as you could expect. Me sitting there like this, like, oh, racing
Yep.
myself. And then so usually if I watch like an X-rated show, my parents are like, go to the room or like close my eyes or like cover them.
Yeah.
But my parents were like, they were watching it and I was watching it and I was like waiting. I'm like, are they gonna like tell me to leave? Are they gonna make close my eyes? Or like close my ears? Like I was waiting and they're like, oh, it's fine. It's just two guys. I was just like,
Yep. Kin Porsche and Love in the Air are shows you should watch with your parents.
I did
Recommend
that too.
everybody.
I did that too. Because I was like, this looks fluffier. No, I was not prepared.
I
I
mean, there was fluffiness in it, but
oh my god! Okay. So when Kim Porch came out, I was like, I wanted to watch something, and I wanted my mom to watch it as well. And she wasn't into BLs, but she was into like crime and like murder and stuff like that. And I was just like, well,
Mhm.
this looks like it has some murder in it. This also looks like a BL. So we're gonna go
Mhm.
with the first episode. I because like
Yeah, right off the bat they hit you with it.
hmm my parents were like, "What are we watching, Tiffany?" I was just like, "I'm so sorry. I didn't think this was gonna happen. Like literally first part."
Mhm. She
But
might like Manner of Death if she likes like crime and stuff.
yeah, I would. That's another one I'm waiting for her to like have time to watch it with her.
Mhm.
Um.
Or like History 3 Trapped. That's a good crime one.
Ooh. Oh, histories are so good. Those are the first couple ones I actually did watch. Oh my god,
Same.
history of her days count. I
Oh,
cried.
we
Oh
don't
my.
talk about
We
we
don't
don't
talk
talk
about
about
that
that.
one. That's the Bruno in the
I
room. We
remember
do
coming
not.
out of my room sobbing, literally sobbing to my mother because I did not expect the last episode at all. I was watching it as it was
Right?
coming out. And like I came out of my room distraught.
I was oh my god,
Those are good though.
the tears I felt for that for because I
Mhm.
was
There hasn't been one history that hasn't been good, really. Like
right?
they're all pretty good. I think my very first one I ever watched like when was Obsession, like this History 2 Obsession was like
Yes,
one of
I
my
watched
earlier BLs I watched
mhm.
because I watched it because everybody said had really good kiss scenes because like they actually kiss because when that was coming out we still didn't really have actual kisses yet
You right? Okay,
and
so
that one did.
for me, when I was watching that first scene, like that one I shouldn't say first scene. When I was watching the obsession part, it was like an edit that came through my feed and it was like maybe this like I don't know. I
Uh-huh.
remember being like, I want to watch it. I want to watch it. And what is it called? Right, going through like the comment section, and like no one knew what it was called, and there was no like Google Translate back then either, so you couldn't translate
Yeah.
it into English. So I was just like, why can't I find this? And I remember trying to Google it up, and it was just I couldn't find it, and then I forgot about it. So I was like, I can't find it, and there's no way to save this. And like I think it was like a month or two later, it popped up again, and but this time it had like, "Oh, it's from this."
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh my god." I think that was the first time I ever seen, like, them actually go for it. I'm just like, "Wow, respect."
Yeah. Respect. You guys are good at your craft. The dedication. I respect the dedication.
What was, like, the most tears you ever cried, like, in like, a BL?
Oh, crying sad is probably either The Untamed, To Make Our Days Count, or um Until We Meet Again.
Yeah.
Oh no, The Effect really got me. I know it's a BL, but it's not a BL. Like it's more of like it's a whole trigger warning. Like,
Yes.
but I love what it's about because it's real and it happens to people. And like, because I can relate to what he went through, that really hit me.
Someone I knew, I don't even remember the person, but like, someone I knew was like, hey, like, just don't watch it. Like, it's not worth it. But everyone was talking about it at that time when it came out. And I was like, I want to know, like, because apparently, like, the book has 2 endings, but
Yeah.
but they're like, oh man, they went with the bad ending, and I was like, what's the bad ending, right? Because I'm like, I'm not. Everyone's like, don't watch it. No one's talking to me about it. Like, I look on like was it at Twitter at the time, like you know that censor thing that they have, like
Yeah.
I literally went real deep in the web and was like, I need to like know about this, and then the emotion.
Yeah. I feel like that's a really powerful BL because it's not really about like BL love. It's about like the things that can happen to you. You know what I mean? Anybody. That one's more about like the message than it is like the show, you know?
Oh my, I think that one, I cried most for the main actor than I cried for anyone else. But if for like in the a whole show in general, I think Until We Meet Again. I think every episode I was crying. Good.
Yeah.
Tears.
I cried a lot in Theory of Love too, just because Gunn cries every episode and he is such a good actor that I couldn't not cry with him. So I cried a lot for that show too. I love that show. It's one of my favorite ones.
So I think for me, if I see a Nunu, for some reason, like everyone else in the world can cry, but then Nunu starts crying. I'm just like, I'm there like crying too. I'm just like,
yeah. It's like there's tears coming out.
I think they had to recreate a scene. I don't know if you've seen this where they recreate their first scene when they have an argument.
Yeah.
Oh my god! And he's like pouting and he's about to cry, and then I start crying with him. I was like, oh, I'm simping for this boy.
And rewatching like Cutie Pie and Cutie Pie 2 hits. It hits because you know Nunu and Z are dating,
right?
So like in Cutie Pie 2, they are making out. Like he sucks on his tongue, like they're going at it because they can. That's his boyfriend. This is fun.
I was like, oh, hello. The escalation though.
Yeah.
It hit. What I was like, wow, they. If I didn't know they were dating, I would be like, oh, they're. Are you sure?
Sus.
I was like, this can't be real. And then they're like, oh, oh. I try not to go Delulu on these things.
Yeah.
I really try. But it's really hard for some couples though.
Oh. And like, did you ever watch Plus and Minus?
Plus and Minus.
The 2 actors from that show started dating when it went over. Like they're publicly dating.
I think I saw that.
And it's so good.
I did because like I remember them posting a lot about.
It's really good. But like the actors are. That's another show where the main actors are actually dating in real life, like publicly.
I think I've seen it.
I have a Google Word that has like all my shows that I want to watch that are like ones I want to watch, I have watched that are currently airing or ones that are about to come out, and it's like so long.
Really? I should have done that. Sometimes I'm like, hey, watch that, and then like you watch the first episode, like, oh yep, I've watched this before. I'm just like, oh man, I don't know. I remember for a while I thought I caught up in all the BLs, and then like I think when was it at a certain point they just started making more BLs and more BLs and more, and I'm just like, wait, hold up.
Yeah, they used to make like there used to be like 1 or 2 or 3 a week coming out, and now there's like one almost every day.
Right?
From all different countries. And it's like, I can't hold on. And then as soon as one company's like GMMTV, as soon as one show is done, they immediately start the next one the next week. And there's no break.
There is no break. Oh my god. Oh my god. I was like not prepared. Have you seen it's not a BL, but it has Gun in it. What was it called?
The Midnight Museum?
Yes.
Yep.
I was like, is this a BL? Is this slightly a BL?
It's like a Chinese bromance because it's not a BL, but it is.
Because they're like, oh, we're like brothers. And I'm just like,
they try to say it's brothers, but they love each other.
Do you think
you don't treat your brother like that?
Hey, do you think they do that because they don't want like Off and Gun's relationship like their ship to like get affected by it.
I think that might be one thing. And also, I know GMMTV said that they're trying to do things other than just BLs. So they're trying to like, and the actors themselves, they're all trying to like do things like The Gifted. That wasn't a BL, but it has
Oh,
a
that
lot
was
of the
so good
BL
though.
actors in it. You know,
Mhm.
yeah. So they're trying. I know that the actors themselves and the company are trying to do things that aren't just BL, but they might be trying to do it softly. You know what I mean? So it's not just
Mhm.
straight regular. They're doing like a soft
Oh, I
into it.
never thought about that.
So it's
Wow.
got like queer undertones.
Oh wow, yeah, you're so right. Especially, oh, what was the show where, oh man, was it? It was like, it was not a BL, but it was in a GL. It was just like LGBT in general. That one.
Um, um,
He
like The
attacked-
Warped.
Yeah, The Warped.
I watched. It was so good. I watched it. But it
I
had like yeah, they just talked about this like the spectrum of sexuality in general because they had asexual representation, they had gays, they had lesbians, they had transgenders, like they had and straights, they had everything in that show.
I was like, wow, they're really diversifying.
Yeah.
I was like,
And
that's really
I
good.
was pleasantly surprised the guy that was in the shipper
Yes.
that's not from the eclipse, but his partner, you know,
Yes. Mm.
that he had a crush on. He's in the warped and he's like partnered with a guy and he did so well in his role. I was very pleasantly surprised if you haven't seen the warped. It's good.
I watched the highlights because I think I was watching other shows and I was just like, I needed time. So
Uh-huh.
I have the highlights of everything. I think I accidentally watched one full episode and it wasn't even in the beginning. It was like towards the end. And I'm like, oh wow, that's
Mm-hmm.
really interesting. Like, what is your favorite genre of like BL? Slow?
Probably see, I like when we have like intense scenes, but I think I really like fluffy lightness. But
Mm.
when it's like, no, okay, how to explain this? I like quiet intenseness. You know what I mean?
Ah,
Like I really like public I also really like when they do like public flirting. I really like flirting. When they
um,
have lots of like cute, fluffy flirting in front of friends and in public and they like embarrass each other. But they only love each other. So it's like an intense love. I like those.
how do you think about the shows that are just coming out, like Bed Friends and Love Syndrome?
Actually just finished watching the newest episode of Love Syndrome and Bed Friends, like right before this, earlier this morning before I went to work. I like those shows. I am a person that can separate. Like there's some people that are like, "Oh, that show has toxic stuff in it. You can't watch it at all." Like
Mm,
I'm not. I'm watching it and I like it, but that doesn't mean I want that kind of relationship, you know? Because like in Kin Porsche, I love Vegas Pete. Okay,
you too.
I
Oh
get
my,
on my knees for Vegas, but that doesn't mean
I think
I want a
everyone would,
boyfriend that's gonna lock me up and beat me up. You know what I mean?
right?
They're all like like those two, they're toxic, but there also is a love story. Like they start out toxic and then they fall in love with each other. Like Bed Friends, they started as like a one night stand and Ua has like a really bad life, but King is actually likes him and like eventually they genuinely love each other. And
I
like Love
know.
Syndrome, he was the main or Day was an asshole, but he ended up really loving it, but then he lost his memory and now he's an asshole again. But like they did love each other. So it's hard.
I don't want to say I like the toxicity of like shows. There's a certain amount that I can do,
Yeah.
and I think for Love Syndrome, it actually isn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be.
Mm-mm.
The way that they presented it in like the advertisement, the promotion, I thought it was gonna be way worse.
Yeah.
But
I
I'm
mean, the
like,
book. We're also on Love Syndrome. I don't know if you read the book. The show that they're showing is actually Love Syndrome 3,
the book 3, yeah.
and it's the least toxic out of the 3 books.
Oh.
So they did a good job on choosing which one to make a show out of. The other 2 is literally just like abuse and rape and like violence and beating each other up and like lying and shooting and like it's all just drama. And then the 3rd book
Wow.
we finally get some like romance. So I'm glad they chose the 3rd book.
I knew there was 3 books, and I
Mhm.
knew from the first book was a lot to handle. But I don't know anything about the second book, and I'm just like I'm
Mhm.
just watching to watch because I think I spoil myself too much if I read the books
Oh
because
yeah.
I'm like, oh man, they should have did this, or they should have done that.
Yeah, for BLs, I tend to watch, except for like except for Chinese, like Donmei or however you say that. I read those books first and then watch the show because the shows are so censored.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to like BLs, like Thai BLs and stuff, I feel like I always watch the show first and then read the books because the books are always so much more toxic. So I want to get the cute love story and then I'll read the books because I have like 20 to 25 translated like Thai BL books that
Wow.
are like that have been made into shows that I just haven't read yet that I want to read because I saved them. Like I found somebody that translated a whole bunch of them and then she put them online and I got them and downloaded them before the internet like made her take them out. So I got them because I can't speak Thai.
Um,
Stop! I can pray. Let's go to the temple.
my there was this part of Bed Friends, you know, when at the temple and the
Yeah.
blank view that they have. My dad was
Yeah.
like, I am not walking up those steps. He came out and he said it out of nowhere. He was like, nope, I would not make it.
I would love to visit Thailand.
Oh, me too. That's one of
They're
my
doing
goals.
their water festival right now because
I
it's
know.
the Thai New Year. I wish
Mhm.
I was there. It looks so much fun.
I
We got to
wanna
plan a trip.
Oh my god, yes.
Thai BL podcast trip to Thailand.
Yes. Oh my god, I would totally do that. I have a passport. We should do
Same.
it during we should do it next year during this time.
It'd be cute as like if this is still going good and we're still doing it and like hopefully, I mean, we're friends, best friends by then. We could do
Yeah.
it as like our 1 year like gift to ourselves. That would
Yes.
be really cool.
Mm.
We need to do like an Asian countries tour and just hit like all of them for like a few days or a week, and then we can see which ones each of our favorites.
I told my parents, I'm like, I want to go to Thailand. I want to go to Taiwan. I want to go to South Korea. I want to go to Japan, and then I want to go to the Philippines.
I was gonna say, yeah, the Philippines is so much. I feel like that would be so much fun. I want to go there so bad.
Yes. So me and my dad watched was it Game Boy? I don't know.
Oh yeah,
So Game
yeah.
Boy. So now every time my dad hears baby, my dad goes,
Mm-hmm.
baby, out of nowhere. And you're just like, Dad. So if he likes an actor or he likes a saying, he will copy it and he will not let it go ever.
Uh-huh.
So, baby is one of them. P. Dean, because we watch Until We Get Together. I swear, every single time my dad sees he goes, "Oh, P. Dean." Like,
I mean,
no.
that was probably said more than anything else in that show.
Right? And there's other ones, but those are the two prominent ones. Like, he'll just come out of nowhere and be like, "You know what time it is?" I was like, "What?" He was like, "Baby." I'm like, "No, there's no just a way to indicate that he wants to watch a BL." Or like he'll send me like um literally a bunch of like, "Oh, what's this show?"
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, "Oh, that's another BL." And he was like, "We should watch it." And I'm just like, I don't know if I could watch another show because I'm terrified if it could be another Kinforch or it could be another
Oh,
like Love
yep.
is Air. I can't go through it. So I got to the point where I was
I
like,
haven't
okay,
watched like I Told Sunset About You. That's a
yes,
really
we
good
just watched
one.
that together.
Okay, that's so beautiful. That's a really cinematic one.
Oh my god! Now every time he sees the ocean, he's like, you know what? I'm just like, no. Like he puts meaning to everything he watches.
Mm-hmm.
So it's to the point where we watched The Grass is Greener on the Other Side. It's not a BL, but it's
Oh, I've seen that. Duh. I'm sitting here like I don't know what you're talking about.
yeah. So my dad saw him and was like, you know what he reminds me of? And I was like, what? And he was like, McDonald's. And I was like, what? He goes, yeah, look at his lips. And I was like, what do you mean look at his lips? He goes, he has the M. And I was like, Dad, please stop it. And then like the next frame was like his shoes and they have an M on it.
Oh my
And
gosh.
his blonde hair. And he was like, that's McDonald boy now. And I was like, no. And then he was on Weak Hero. Oh my god, my dad was like, McDonald boy.
Oh my gosh, it was so good. I'm so glad he went into acting.
Wasn't he an actor first though? And then he became an idol?
I don't know.
I think I saw him acting like or not acting, but like he was like crying with like Big Bang. and like they were like, "Oh, childhood actor versus Big Bang, who can cry
Oh,
first?" I think
he's
I
a good
could
actor.
be
He
wrong.
probably won. He
Yeah,
can
he did
cry really
win.
well.
Oh god, that's another boy. As soon as he starts crying, I'm crying with him. I'm just like, him and Nunu, I
And
swear.
he does really like he portrays like intense emotions that you're not letting out on the inside really well.
Yeah, he really. Oh my god, the fact that he's able to like hold it and you can see it, and you're just like, oh my god, I'm not prepared.
Mhm.
He's a good actor, honestly. I'm
He
I'm
is.
I'm
He's a
so
very good
surprised
actor.
that. But
What did
you
you
cut out.
what show were we just talking about? Grass is greener on the other side or something like that?
Yes.
That show was originally supposed to be a BL. It was a BL webtoon, and they took the BL out of it.
Really?
I didn't know if you knew that. Yeah.
I did not know at all. Like,
Yeah. That one was originally a BL, and then they took that because it was a webtoon and it got really popular, so they made it into a show, but then because of Korea and everything, they weren't comfortable, so they took the BL element out of it. Everybody was really mad. And then they paired him with the girl instead of the boy. He was supposed to be with the boy, the guy friend.
um,
Yeah, you can still read like it's still up
I
like the
think
original
I could see
webtoon.
it. I can see
Yeah.
it now because you said it, and I was like, man, I'm just like, I thought in my head, I was like, man, I can't think of everything a BL. Like, I was like, oh my god, no, I wasn't crazy. Oh my
No,
god.
you weren't. It originally was supposed to be a BL, but just like, like try the how it got censored. And everybody was kind of mad about it, but because it was such a good show anyway, like nobody like really cared because it was such a good show, but it was supposed to be a BL.
Wow. I thought I was going crazy. I was like, man, I'm just like reading in between the lines a little too much.
Sometimes I feel like that too. I'm like, do I sense some gayness in here? They looked at each other for like a few seconds too long. They're supposed to be shipped.
Bro, that's how Boys Planet was for me too.
Don't even get started on Boys Planet. Every single one of them.
Fruity.
Queens.
Girly pop. Literally.